Hello, I am John Swygert, and I am a cyborg scientist and author of the Swygert Theory of Everything AO John Swygert Researchers. Preface. This booklet contains a three-paper trilogy developed within the Swygert Theory of Everything AO, TSTOEAO. While each paper stands independently, they are intentionally arranged as a single analytical instrument, designed to explain, predict, and ultimately reduce systemic failure under sustained load. In plain terms, this work addresses a problem that modern science repeatedly encounters but rarely unifies. Why do failures tend to cluster, accelerate, and recur, often more quickly after an initial breakdown, despite equivalent effort, talent, or resources? Across professional sports, medicine, engineering, and human performance, the prevailing assumption is that failure is either random, inevitable, or sufficiently corrected once repaired. The evidence suggests otherwise. What this trilogy offers. At the core of this work is a simple but powerful principle. Performance, durability, and long-term value are governed not only by applied effort or opportunity, but by a system's internal equilibrium under variance. Within TSTOEAO, this relationship is formalized as V equals E times Y, where V represents usable value, E represents applied load, and Y represents encoded equilibrium, the system's capacity to absorb variance without destabilizing. Most modern frameworks focus almost exclusively on E, training harder, optimizing output, and increasing utilization. This trilogy demonstrates why doing so, without preserving or reinforcing Y, predictably leads to cascading failure. Failure is informative, and systems that fail without learning are structurally destined to fail again faster. Paper 1. Elite Selection Under Load. Across all high-performance domains, professional athletics, intelligence operations, executive leadership, and advanced technical fields, elite capability concentrates into a remarkably small fraction of the population. This paper formalizes that phenomenon as an emergent outcome of variance tolerance under load rather than raw ability alone. In every mature competitive system, participation is broad, but sustained success is rare. Reframing the problem as one of equilibrium under increasing variance, not skill in isolation, we demonstrate that population collapse arises mathematically when increasing load exceeds individual equilibrium capacity. Crucially, energy is scalable for many, equilibrium is not. When Y degrades, value collapses regardless of energy. Paper 2. Variance Amplification. Following initial failure. Conventional scientific models often treat failure events, such as injury, burnout, or performance collapse, as discrete incidents. TSTOEAO proposes a different framework. Failure events function as equilibrium-degrading shocks that amplify variance under sustained load, thereby increasing both the probability and rate of subsequent failure even when external conditions remain unchanged. An initial injury is not neutral. Instead, it degrades equilibrium, amplifying variance and increasing both the probability and speed of subsequent failures, even when load remains unchanged. Standard scientific models fail when load remains constant, but recurrence clusters nonlinearly. TSTOEAO uniquely introduces encoded equilibrium as a degradable system state. Without it, these observations remain fragmented. Paper 3. Failure-Informed Reinforcement. Across biological systems, failure is not treated as an anomaly to be erased, but as information to be encoded. Skeletal fracture healing is the clearest example. Bone is rebuilt not merely to its prior state, but reinforced beyond baseline strength. This process does not aim to recreate the original microstructure exactly. Instead, it temporarily produces a region with increased cross-sectional area and elevated load tolerance. Failure is not erased, it is remembered. In contrast, engineered, institutional, and social systems typically restore baseline specifications without reinforcement. Resilient systems obey a universal law. Any region that fails under load must be rebuilt to exceed its prior variance tolerance. Stability cannot be achieved by resetting conditions that already failed. Where reinforcement is absent, collapse is a certainty. Booklet conclusion. This trilogy establishes a complete arc: identification, validation, and resolution. Paper I defines the problem. Systems operating near capacity are governed by equilibrium and variance tolerance. Paper 2 proves that failure is not an isolated event. Once equilibrium is breached, variance amplifies and time itself compresses. Paper 3 completes the trilogy by showing how resilient systems solve this problem. Biology does not restore systems, it reinforces them. Taken together, the trilogy demonstrates what conventional models miss. Failure is a signal, variance is informational, and equilibrium must be actively re-encoded, not passively restored. Where this mechanism is absent, collapse is not a possibility. It is a certainty. The Swygert theory of everything AO offers a unified lens for designing systems, careers, and institutions that endure. This is one argument completed. If you like this video, you'll find many more just like it, waiting for you on our TikTok, this YouTube channel, the homepage TSTOEAO.com, and especially ivorytowerjournal.com, as well as Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, and everywhere online. Remember, TSTOEAO. We also have full podcast versions of every episode under the same name, TSTOEAO. Come join us. The next collapse of the old paradigm drops in 48 hours. See you there.